Hello everyone, I just wanted to do a quick sort of tutorial, not really a tutorial, more of a draw through of this picture for day 29 of character resolution, which is 2023, and it's the J Robert, let me just double check his name, Oppenheimer, which is sort of the character they've chosen for day 29, and I just wanted to just test out my new microphone, to be perfectly honest, see how it sounds. And I'm just going to sort of talk myself through this character. It's not going to be nothing too detailed. I'm just going to sketch through and tell you what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So the first things first, we got our reference picture of Robert on the left, and I'm just using plain black ink, plain white canvas, and I just got my customized studio pen. So first things first, I'm sort of just looking at the picture of the face and I'm working out what's what. I've already sort of decided in my mind that the nose is sort of going to be the exaggerated feature, so I'm just sort of popping in there a shape which will represent my nose, but I am kind of working out now everything off my nose. So I'm looking at the reference picture, and if that's my nose, I'm thinking, how many eyes, if you look at the Robert's eyes on the reference picture, how many eyes can I fit on that nose, just so I get the proportions, near enough. So let's just pop his eye there, like so. Another eye there. I'm also looking at the angles to see whether sort of that goes up or the end finishes down, because everybody's different. You see with Roberts there, look, they sort of just more or less parallel, I suppose. Not much upper lidage going on. And like I say, this is just very rough, just getting my proportions and shapes in the right places. You can see that his eyebrows are actually not far off, just as thick as his eyes, so I'll be emphasising those as well. So this is where his nose is going to come down. And like I say, nothing heavy here, this is just mapping out my features. And there we got a bit of a shape going on there. And because we've exaggerated the nose, we'll play with that even more so. Gonna be jumping it there. Let me just work out this mouth. Right, okay, so I'm looking at the length, the width, sorry, of his nose in comparison to his mouth. Okay, on the photo, and I'm just gonna sort of work out what I go with, and I am gonna make it slightly bigger, but I'm gonna push it further down. So we get that sort of thing going on, that sort of shape going on there. Look, pipe is going to come out of his mouth like so. Not really bothered about the details at the moment, really. This is purely about mapping out just a basic shape. Around there. Shrink that down a touch. And he's got some fairly big ears, which are set kind of high, I suppose you would say, on the head. So and the hairline. Some sort of softy side part in hair going on with a silver colour. what's going on there. And this all leads into his shirt collar. Got a tie on. That here obviously is where we got the start of his hand. Which is holding a pipe. I'm just going to roughly sketch that in there. We can see it's a bit too big possibly at the moment, but let's see, I'm just mapping out a basic rough sketch really. Just fancy doing a rough sketch on this one. I don't always. Just leads to a better finish overall, I think. Pipe's going to be coming down and around there. That's where he's holding his match. Another finger there. See, once we've sketched all this kind of in, it'll be easy for us just to draw over as we want to without worrying then about what goes where at the same time as drawing. That's going to be there, and we got the other side of his shirt. It's going to be there. Okay, and we got a bit of a squared off look going there. So what can we see? Now we've done that, this is where we can go in with our liquify tool. And let's just sort some stuff out. So I'm quite happy with the face, but it needs to go this way. It needs to go that way, that way. And this needs to all come out a bit too, because you can see sort of leaning in this direction. Bring all this down. And I think we'll push that nose even further. Push that mouth even further down as well. Maybe put a little bit of roundness, not too much. I like to keep the tops of heads relatively flat. It's just my thing. It's just what I like to do. So I don't like them too round and bulging. Alright, I reckon that's good enough to just get stuck in now, to be fair. I think we could work with this. Right, that's the rough sketch done. Let's ink him. Starting on the nose. Let's ink him up. Let's get that pipe in there now out of the way. Yeah, looks so. If you're wondering why I'm doing all these little extra lines at the end, literally it's just because it just adds a little bit of depth. It adds a bit of contrast and a bit of interest, I suppose you could say is the word. is going to come out this way more, because I noticed his head is leaning at a different angle to what I sketched. Pop those little irises in there. And let's just insinuate the look of some hair, like so. Pop an ear in. I never mess about too much with ears, to be fair. Just let you know where some shadow is. There's some sort of hatch. Like that, with some shading again on the neck. Do some wrinkles on the top. And then I'm just gonna cross hatch in some more shadow. Just gonna rush through this bit now with the collar, the rest of the clothes. And I'm just going to quickly doodle in my sketch of the hands now. I hate drawing hands. Hate it. Just sticking to my initial pre-sketch of my interpretation of the hands. Keep it loose and fun. It adds an own character of itself. So, feel like I'm rushing a bit too much now. It's just a quick character or nothing heavy. Sort of bearing in mind the other side of his shoulder, so I wanted to keep that kind of parallel, you know. Made a bit of a mess of that, to be fair. And that. As you can see, not a fan of drawing hands at all. You probably worked that bit out. actually hatch in there because it's all going to be in the shade anyway. Add a few wild hairs, like so. Of darkness up on these top lids. Let's turn our sketch layer off, see what we're left with. It looks pretty good. Any adjustments we can make right now with the liquify. If any eye placement needs changing. That's a bit too much. Let me just try and have another go at that. Straighten this nose up a touch. It's a bit crooked. Bit of the crown shape there. That'll do. Let's put some shadow in. Just going to use a grey. Let's use the round brush. Just getting all the darkest areas in. Quickly sketch it in the darker areas with the studio pen. Just going to be his eyebrows, his clothes, and some of the darker shadows. So I'm going to go even darker on the tie and the pipe. just bring that back with some highlights. Layer underneath just to get the skin colour tone set. More so we can make the highlights show up, which we'll do next. Just going to colour those eyes in first. I can go in and do the highlights. Just throwing random highlights in everywhere now, just to make it look interesting. Bit of cross hatching and maybe some real hatching too, just for something to look at. And I just want to go darker on certain parts, just for shade, with a softer brush. Not that dark on the skin. Bit of light, just a bit of texture, and that will do. Thanks for watching.